Now we have isolated the phytoconstant podophyllatoxin. We have also performed the chemical test to detect the or to confirm the identity of the lignans. So it is not enough if we are talking about the single phytoconstant or a single moiety podophyllatoxin. We must have to go for further analysis using more sophisticated techniques like TLC, HPTLC, and high performance liquid chromatography. So taking on TLC first, thin layer chromatography. For identification and analysis of podophyllatoxin in the sample, we can perform the thin layer chromatography using the following conditions. The silica gel we will use as the stationary phase, which is poured on the plate, and the plates were dried. After drying, the plates were activated in the oven. After activating the plates in the oven at 110 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes, the plates were taken out, and the plates were spotted with the sample and the test molecule. Standard and test sample. The mobile phase we use is chloroform and methanol in the ratio of 9:1. The detecting reagent, because their lignans they can easily be detected, or the lignans can easily be derivatized using iodine, so iodides can be formed. So we can use the iodine chamber for detection of the spot. Simply what we do, we put the iodine in the iodine chamber, and the vapors of iodine, we expose the plate which we have developed. After drying the plate, we can put it into the iodine chamber, and due to the reaction with the iodine, some derivatives will form of the podophyllatoxin, and it will appear in the form of a band on the TLC. You can detect the spot or the band of your podophyllatoxin at an R value of 0.94. And how we have prepared sample for this analysis? We have prepared the sample for this analysis by dissolving 1 gram of the sample in which we have to detect the podophyllatoxin. It is dissolved in 10 ml of methanol. And similarly, we have prepared standard, where we have dissolved 1 mg of standard podophyllatoxin in 1 ml of methanol, and then we have applied the sample on the plates and developed it. Now moving on to more sophisticated technique, which is very much similar to the TLC. After development of TLC, what we do, what is the difference between HPTLC and TLC? TLC is a simple version, and in HPTLC we use sophisticated instruments for each and every task. Say for example, if we are here we prepare the plates using silica gel slurry, but now here we have already pre-coated silica gel plates which are coated with which are available in the market on a aluminum sheet. We cut the desired size of the aluminum sheet of the pre-coated silica gel plate, and then we take the plate and apply the sample. Here what we use the capillary tube or the sampler to apply the sample of the spot of the sample and the standard. But here in HPTLC, what we do, we use an applicator, we use a spot applicator for the application of sample and standard on the TLC plate. So it's a pen-like, or you can say, you must have seen the printer. As you have seen the printer, it prints one line after other. Similarly, here also we have a pen-like structure which automatically take the sample from the sample holder, and it will transfer the sample amount in the form of a band, and in the same way it applies the standard. After application of the sample, the plates were dried in a special chamber, and after drying we use a development chamber. So here what we have used, used a development chamber in which we have poured the solvent and we have kept it under closed condition. But here what we have automatic automatic development chamber, where the machine itself adds the amount of solvent which you have added into the software. So that particular amount of solvent, it directly came in the development chamber through the various pumps, and after it is allowed to saturate. After saturation of around 10 minutes, the plates is dipped into the development chamber, and it is developed. After developing, here we have put the plate in the idling chamber, but here we have to dry the plate and we have to visualize it using a scanner. So here we scan using your naked eyes or UV cabinet, but here we have specialized scanners which can detect even very small concentrations of phytoconstituent. So we have used pre-coated silica plates here. The mobile phase we have used is acetonitrile and water in a combination of 4:6. The detection was made at under UV radiations at 217 nanometer, and the RF value was found is 0.4. As you can see from this chromatogram, this is the sample standard chromatogram of the standard podophyllotoxin. You have a straight line and then you have a significant curve. This curve or this peak is of your podophyllotoxin, standard podophyllotoxin, at an RF value of 0.41. And similarly, if you observe this peak in the sample of the drug where you have to detect the podophyllotoxin, you will see various peaks, and at 0.41 you can also observe a peak which corresponds to the concentration of podophyllotoxin. So this is a qualitative as well as a quantitative technique, whereas TLC is only a qualitative technique. It can only identify the compound whether it is present or not, but it can also quantify the concentration of the compound. Next we have another instrument which is called as high pressure liquid chromatography. It is also very significant tool in terms of estimation of phytoconstituents. So here we have used the column RPC18. RP here stands for reverse phase chromatography. Why we are using the term reverse phase chromatography? Because here we are using the polar solvents and the stationary phase is non-polar. But previously, when the chromatography was developed or when the chromatography was invented, in the previous periods we used the stationary phase, which is made up of polar solvents or polar. The stationary phase was polar, and we use the non-polar solvents. But that was costly. So now we have changed the concept. We are using a stationary phase, which is non-polar. Here we have used C18 column. C18 is octadecyl siloxane, and the solvent we are using for this chromatography is the solvents, they are polar in nature. So we have the cheap cost of process. The cost of process, entire process or the entire HPLC analysis is quite low as compared to the previous non-polar or natural phase chromatography. So we use mobile phases like methanol, water we have used in the concentration of 6238. We have set the detector of HPLC at lambda max of 280 nanometer, where it detects the maximum peak of the podophyllotoxin in the sample or the chromatogram. The flow rate was maintained at 0.9 ml per minute. The injected volume was 20 ml, and under these proper conditions we can obtain the peak of your podophyllotoxin at an RT, retention time, of 9.45 minutes. So this is all about the analysis of phytoconstituent which we have isolated using your methods. But as far as the utilization is concerned, utilization part is also very important for phytoconstituent. As such, the phytoconstituent podophyllotoxin is excellent cathartic and purgative. It eases out the constipation and other gut-related problems. It also has anti-malarial and anthelmintic action on the human beings. the main reason or the main use of this podophylletoxin in nowadays studies is that it is a potent anti-tumor agent. The derivatives of or you can say the semi-synthetic derivatives of podophylletoxin like adiposide and teniposide. These teniposide and adiposide, they are semi-synthetic molecules which are derived from the podophylletoxin, and these two anti-tumor compound, they are used in a number of or a variety of tumors or cancers like that cancer of breast, cancer of lung, cancer of ovary, cancer of testicular, and your cancer of breast also. Apart from this, it is also used in the treatment of treatment and management of psoriasis, along with other drugs for psoriasis. It is also incorporated into the formulation. So this is all about the production, isolation and extraction and utilization of podophylletoxin. We will see more other phytoconstituents in our next lectures. Thank you for your patience. Thank you so much.